Stephen Bungay, The Art of Action, How Leaders Close the Gaps Between Plans, Actions, and Results. Are you tired of drowning in the world of complex strategies and ineffective management? Dive into The Art of Action, How Leaders Close the Gaps Between Plans, Actions, and Results, where Stephen Bungay offers compelling insights on how to tackle the common disconnect between planning and implementing strategies. Inspired by the 19th century Prussian Army operations manual, Auftragstaktik, Bungay presents practical approaches to decision-making, bridging the knowledge gap, and empowering employees to take autonomous action. By focusing on clear intentions and results-driven goals, you'll learn to streamline communication and improve organizational efficiency.
Clarity counts. In the cacophony of business, organizations struggle with strategy implementation. The complexity of operations can lead to confusion, lengthy meetings, and poor decision-making. Micromanagement is not the answer, it erodes trust and breeds resentment. The solution lies in clarity. Simplify the message and leave no doubt about expectations. Empower employees to contribute meaningful ideas and watch productivity soar. After all, the fundamental question is, what do you want me to do? The answer should be crystal clear. Bridging the gap. Organizations can improve efficiency by bridging the gaps between plans, actions, and outcomes. The old approach of scientific management suggested robotically carrying out detailed plans, but plans cannot predict the future. Effective executives master the discipline of formulating and giving good directions to explain what needs to be achieved and why. The Taylor model remains dominant because ideas like change management and leading without managing are hard to define in practice. Gaps develop among plans, actions, and outcomes, resulting in overanalysis, burdening employees with annoying instructions, and ineffective controls. Bridging these gaps demands engagement, pragmatism, passion, and flexibility by leaders, managers, and directors. Effective leadership strategies. To become a successful leader, one must first prioritize the end goals and create a flexible approach to achieve them. Communicating these objectives clearly and simply to the team is essential, while also giving employees enough autonomy to adapt and perform under broad guidelines. The book recommends finding the right balance between structure and flexibility, using intent more than a rigid plan. This will empower the team to be self-sufficient and work tirelessly towards the primary objectives without feeling overwhelmed by unnecessary instructions. Overcoming friction in action. The concept of friction in turning activity into action has been around for centuries, traced back to Karl von Clausewitz's book on war. Friction arises both internally and externally, often resulting from imperfect information transmission and processing, as well as unforeseen external factors. The effects of friction are not simply additive but rather multiplicative. Although friction is inevitable, leaders can overcome it with enormous willpower. Each generation needs to learn how to handle old skills and new situations that cause friction. Mission Command. The book's summary explores the principles of mission command and its evolution from the 19th century military manual, Auftragstaktik, developed by Field Marshal Helmuth Karl Bernhard Graf von Moltke. The core idea of the mission command approach is to grant autonomy while maintaining alignment with the team's mission and capabilities. Von Moltke emphasized crystal-clear communication of general orders that allowed subordinates to think and act independently, a critical factor in the fast-paced landscape of war. He rejected detailed long-term planning and advocated for a flexible organization that could adapt to the remaining 30% of the plan that is unpredictable. The use of mission command principles requires an environment of trust where employees are allowed to make mistakes and learn to adapt in a changing landscape. This system demands thinking and doing, learning and adapting, rather than plan and implement. The book emphasizes the relevance of these principles to modern organizations, where clarity of communication to align teams towards a mission is critical to success. Tackling friction in organizations. As organizations become more complex, friction among employees becomes inevitable. The book suggests addressing the 3 gaps that arise in disaster to execute plans effectively. Wise strategies. The development and execution of effective strategies are essential components of any successful undertaking. A good strategy should be goal-oriented and include a logical sequence of steps that prioritize the most important tasks. To be effective, your strategy must involve both the goal you wish to achieve and how you intend to achieve it. The strategy should be flexible enough to evolve with changing circumstances, and it should reflect your organization's goals, capabilities, and opportunities. Fear is a common factor that can lead to a tendency to play it safe, so leaders must be wise and intuitive to create and implement sound strategies. The most potent strategies focus on the enemy's center of gravity or your own company's significant inefficiency. The ability to feel with your fingertips, or Fingerspitzengefühl, as the Germans call it, is vital for intuitive leadership to help create and implement effective strategies. Effective planning and strategy implementation. Planning at each level of the organization is vital to achieve corporate goals. To prevent subsidiary employees from pursuing activities that do not align with the overall strategy, there should be a clear statement of intent communicated throughout the organization. Leaders at each level must convey their intentions and check mutual understanding during leadership coordination briefings to enhance alignment across functions. The hierarchy of accountable leaders must enable and empower the strategy, allowing them to make autonomous decisions. This way, each level of the organization can achieve specific goals, ultimately contributing to the overall success of the organization. Independent thinking for effective leadership. Effective leaders prioritize independent thinking and action in their workforce. They encourage employees to act on initiative within boundaries, prioritize intentions over specific instructions, and exercise independent judgment. Strong-minded leaders focus on developing their people, providing clear direction, and bridging the effects gap. Companies that fall prey to replacing clarity with detail compromise their success. Success requires assembling the right people, training them well, and leading them properly. Ultimately, a workforce that thinks and acts independently is the key to success. Powerful strategies for success. The book presents 10 powerful strategies for success based on common-sense ideas called glimpses of the blindingly obvious, GBOs. These ideas, often overlooked in practice, include recognizing the imperfections of people, not planning beyond what you can realistically forecast, and assigning tasks to responsible individuals. To achieve success, organizations must communicate their intentions clearly, ensure employees have the necessary skills, and show support for independent action. The book emphasizes the importance of building strategic thinking and briefing skills to achieve a powerful organization.
Stephen Bungay's The Art of Action provides valuable guidance for leaders struggling to connect their plans with their actions. By focusing on an intent-driven strategy, simplifying communication, and supporting employee autonomy, leaders can effectively narrow the gaps that exist between planning and results. By breaking free from the confines of traditional approaches and embracing the wisdom of military insights, modern organizations can foster an environment of trust, adaptability, and efficient decision-making. Whether you're the leader of a business, a nonprofit, or a community organization, these timeless insights will provide a roadmap for success and transform the way you approach management and execution.